Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Good evening, Cavs fans, and welcome to another installment of the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by the wonderful people over at Blue Wire. I am Tim Daniel. He is Skylar Webker, and tonight we are recapping a beatdown by the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Amway Center in my favorite city in the universe, Orlando, Florida. A 122-82 victory over the Magic on their court, mind you. And Skylar, the first thing I have to point out before we break down any players or anything like that, a 61-13 bench scoring advantage for the Cavs tonight.
Bananas. It's a good game when 14 of your 14 players play tonight.
Yeah, it was a shellacking. So obviously now the Cavs have now won 8 straight. It's the third time this year they have a win streak of 8 or more. So that's pretty awesome. And we're just going to go through some numbers real quick before we dive in. So they had the field goal percentage advantage, 56-37. Free throws was a little close, 81-79. 3-point percentage, 59% for the Cavs, 18% for Orlando. Rebounds was a plus 12 advantage, although they had the upper hand on the offensive boards. And then points off turnovers, the Cavaliers obviously always do really well with this, but 23-11. And they also never gave up the lead throughout the entire game.
That's just total domination. I mean, you're beating them on every facet of the game. You're not letting them get ahead in their home court. They're fairly healthy, although Jalen Suggs went out at the second quarter. I don't think he came back in at all.
Didn't need to.
Well,
probably wasn't worth it.
I mean, really the only person that could do anything or muster anything was really Paolo, and he was really the only guy that could do anything offensively.
Yeah, so Suggs was out tonight. So it was Cole Anthony, Tavius Caldwell-Pope, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. all started. Paolo and Franz were the only two guys to have double-digit points for Orlando, and they shot really bad. So they did have a combined 45 points, but they were also combined 18 of 43 from the floor. So Cleveland's defense once again steps up big. Let's do a little different tonight. Let's start with the bench, because I think you can make the case now Cleveland has 2 very solid candidates for 6th man of the year. You guys talked about it the other night with Ty Jerome and what he's been able to do, and then obviously DeAndre Hunter on that as well. So tonight, the Virginia Cavalier twins with a combined 37 points. Jerome's 20, Hunter 17. Jerome, 7 of 12 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3. DeAndre Hunter, 5 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, continuing his really hot shooting from deep since becoming a member of the Cavaliers. By the way, is undefeated as a member of the Cavaliers, obviously, because he got picked up during the win streak. But those two guys kind of setting the pace for what was a pretty phenomenal performance all around for the Cavs.
You think that they're making it impossible for the Cavs to not re-sign Ty Jerome in the offseason?
Yes.
I mean, they have this best friend in the NBA in DeAndre Hunter there. They were college roommates, obviously college champions. You're having unbelievable success with him. This is the most success he's seen as his tenure in the NBA. Like, he obviously, I don't know if he would, I don't want to speak for Ty Jerome, TJ Maxx. I don't know if he would take a pay cut or deserves to take a pay cut just to stay, but it's making it hard to think to go anywhere else.
You hope so. Yeah.
I mean, plus, like we talked about it the other night, like the Cavs are already a second apron team. So they can spend whatever they want to re-sign Ty Jerome. doesn't matter. It's going to be more expensive to sign him because you're going to pay the luxury dollars on top of it. But I'm fine spending Dan Gilbert's money.
Yeah, I say this often with sports. Anyone who cares way too much about contracts, I don't care. So I really don't, because it's not my money. So
yeah, it's all make-believe dollars to us.
Yeah, right. This is like 2K money for us. So yeah, so obviously those two guys kind of set the way. DeAndre Hunter got off to a really hot start. I mean, in the first quarter, came in and hit 3 threes immediately. So that was really nice to see. Just kind of, you know, just like a flawless fit on. Just really consistent, like just really kind of was that puzzle piece that was missing. It seems like at times it was just really unbelievable. Tonight was just an awesome performance for him as well. I just think that what you're getting from him obviously makes the Cavs nearly impossible to beat. But all your wing guys got time tonight, and Hunter really led the way. We'll get to the other guys here in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, not only does he bring that missing piece that we were definitely missing, it's just so good that you have him for beyond this year. You have him for 2 more years after this. So like he's going to be a part of this core, going to be a part of this team. So it's not just like this flash in the pan sample size. Like he's going to be a Cavalier,
Yeah.
which makes the
This isn't a buyout candidate. This is flat out a guy who's going to be here for a little while.
Exactly. So this is a guy that's, he's comfortable in the system. He's having success in this system, probably more success than he was seeing in Atlanta, outside of maybe shooting numbers, even though his shooting numbers are still impeccable as a Cavalier.
Yeah, pretty solid. Yeah, he's been really good. So Hunter obviously paces the way. Max Strus gets to start again tonight. Isaac Okoro gets to start in place of Darius Garland, who sat out tonight, and was, typical Isaac Okoro, his first start back since his injury. But they went Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, Strus, and Allen tonight. And although those guys, it's not the usual numbers, those guys were played really, really well. So Mitchell only had 11 tonight. Didn't need more. Wasn't really necessary to have a crazy game. Okoro 8-4-2, Allen 8-7-1. But let's get to Max Strus and Evan Mobley. This is another nice shooting game for Max Strus. He's kind of as he's getting consistent again. I know he's had some ups and downs since being back from the injury bug throughout the year, but was really, really good again tonight. The other night it was a lot of just kind of playmaking. Tonight he was really able to shoot and looked comfortable shooting. The Cavaliers ran some sets for him to where he kind of get his feet underneath them, coming off screens, just kind of being there in the corner. 5 of 7 from deep. It was really nice to get a big game from Max tonight.
Absolutely. You need him to be this version of Max Strus kind of the rest of the year and in the playoffs. And like that, this is the version of Max Strus you need if you're going to kind of meet those expectations that we all have on the season, which are at this point, I don't want to say finals or bust. I would probably say Eastern Conference Finals or bust. I think that's realistic, but I'm still on the wire to wire, win it all. Let's start a dynasty train.
Hey man, I am all for that as well. So kind of digging deeper into Max's numbers. Only 1 turnover tonight, so that was pretty awesome. So he's got, he played a really clean game too. So like you said, like if Cleveland's hitting this version of Max Strus, which they really need, especially because, especially as the East kind of you're seeing more and more, and we're going to talk about Friday, obviously. 2 teams have separated themselves from the rest. And when they play games like the team they're going to play on Friday, they're going to need this Max Strus probably to show up just about every time as well.
Yeah, this version of Max Strus, this version of DeAndre Hunter, this version of Isaac Okoro. Isaac Okoro led the team in plus minus. Box score, you would not guess that, but just what he was doing on the floor, how he was limiting Paolo. Like he took on their greatest scorer, their greatest player, and put the clamps on him. 26 is kind of a calm night for Paolo, but Paolo negative 22 on his plus minus.
It's an empty 26. Let's call it what it is.
Exactly.
So, Isaac Okoro, terrific tonight. All right, man. Evan Mobley, once again, another night, more highlights, consistently continuing to put himself. We talked about two teams that have separated themselves in the East. Two players at this point have made it a coin flip basically for Defensive Player of the Year. And between Mobley and Jaren Jackson Jr., you guys talked about this on Sunday after that game where he really kind of took it as a statement game and held his own, which really kind of made those odds nearly even on the betting on FanDuel. But tonight, another awesome defensive night. So we'll go offensively real quick. The 17-8-2 does block a shot again tonight, which has 2 blocks. Sorry, had that one in the fourth quarter where he has the block and goes down and gets the dunk. That was pretty awesome. Guarding Paolo Banchero a little bit tonight as well. Mostly Franz Wagner, taking a lot of Wendell Carter in this game. He's a guy who consistently always finds these options of guys he's going to have to take advantage of and kind of get things going for the team. Just another physical, dominant defensive game for him as he continues to etch his name into the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I know you and I both fully believe he is a Defensive Player of the Year. I think tonight was just another example of why that should continue to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. If you got defense, did you put that bet in?
I did.
Player of the Year?
I did.
Did you got it before the Wemby?
I did it. I did it before the season opener. So.
Oh, okay. So you got great odds then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you don't have that,
see if I can find those odds.
If you don't have that, like you can't get it now. You'll lose money because but he's just so far ahead of everyone else. Like it's incredible. And one thing I want to mention is, kind of as we get into this Boston game, but one thing that's always been a thorn in our side this year was young, athletic teams that are long. Mm. That's kind of what Memphis is. That's what Orlando is. And that's what the Knicks are. And they put ass whoopings on all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. So that's what Brooklyn is. Even though Brooklyn's not kind of, in the upper echelon of teams, but
not kind of, they are not in the upper echelon team.
Yeah, they're not in the upper echelon, but they're still, an NBA team that's young, athletic, and lengthy. So, just the acquisition of Hunter really has shown this evolution of what this team is. And yeah, man, it should be terrifying for other teams to watch the Cavs because their one weakness is now a strength, and you don't know how to beat them now.
Yeah. Actually updated. Evan Mobley is now the odds-on favorite on FanDuel for Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus 130, Jaren Jackson Jr. plus 135. So it's still incredibly close.
Yeah.
But Mobley has taken the lead. So I will politely correct you. You do still win money if you put the odds in. You just win nothing.
30 cents to the dollar.
You bet 10, you win 13, basically.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that $3 profit. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we expected this year. I think we kind of all knew that. I mean, you got to think about it, his last fully healthy year. He was third in Defensive Player of the Year odds. He was, and then last year, obviously, he was hurt, so he didn't get to really qualify. And then this year, you kind of knew he was always going to be in there. But now it's this is. I think it's fair to say. I mean, I love Jaren Jackson Jr. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is very good. I think Evan Mobley is the best defensive player in the world. No disrespect to Jaren Jackson Jr. whatsoever. I think, he is definitely a guy who can guard 1 through 5 and do a lot of really physical things defensively, has a Defensive Player of the Year award already. There's no one who's as good as guarding the ball, protecting the rim and guarding the perimeter as Evan Mobley right now. There's just no one that can do it the way he is right now. So what he's been able to do this year all season, how little of games he's missed, and all those games that he's missed. He did have a minor injury at one point, but mostly it's just been rest. This should be his award, man. It should be his to lose.
And I don't want any asterisks or black mark because Wemby's injury, he definitely earned it.
Yeah.
It's not Wemby's gone, so somebody else just give it to the next guy. He's definitely earned it.
Yeah, I still make the case he should be the most improved player, but I'm about 90% certain Cade Cunningham's going to get that. So, which is, he's been great, and I can't argue him being very improved. But I thought Mobley had a much higher gain of his ceiling than Cunningham did. So that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to kind of get into that conversation. But sixth man of the year, DeAndre Hunter is second.
Yeah.
To Peyton
first
Pritchard.
off, how is Ty Jerome not even in consideration?
Let me see. Yeah, he's not. No, he is on the ballot technically.
Okay.
And we're kind of going away from the game here. They won by 40, so we can kind of do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So FanDuel right now has Peyton Pritchard as the odds-on favorite for sixth man of the year at -175. DeAndre Hunter second, tied with Malik Beasley at 470. Everyone else is kind of a long shot. Naz Reid, Russell Westbrook, Amen Thompson, and then Ty Jerome plus 6,000. So if he somehow snuck it away and you put $10 down, enjoy your $600. But
yeah.
Those two guys, no, we talked about this quite a bit already. But I don't know how those two guys aren't like. I love what the JB's done in Detroit. They are for sure a playoff team. They are a top 6 seed. They have achieved their goal. And Malik Beasley has been very, very good. I mean, he's like set the record, I think, already for most 3-pointers made by in a single season by a Pistons player. He's not been better than Ty Jerome, Naz Reid, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's been fun to watch with his connection with Jokic, but he's had to start a lot more games than expected because of injuries, and that's not his fault. I understand that, but Westbrook is not. Ty Jerome is the best bench player on the best team. Well, you can make the case Hunter now too, but you could co-sixth man of the year those guys, and people would go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah, I mean, they did it that year in the NBA, man, or not NBA, the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They did a co-MVP, and everybody hated it. But I think that in this instance, everybody would be like you said, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if. I hope Hunter's sixth man of the year status kind of stays in Cleveland. I don't know where it'll flux with.
It'll be Cleveland.
Well, I'm saying I don't know where his odds are going to flux now that he is a Cavalier versus the system and kind of how he had to play in Atlanta. So hopefully he stays in the within arm's reach of it. But we'll see.
Repeat of history when 2001, when Atlanta traded Dikembe Mutombo to the Sixers, he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
I'd be all right with that. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, just such a good team. Even with Garland out, they still blew out a young, lengthy, contending fringe Orlando Magic team. I mean,
I think a team has a fully healthy year. We're talking about a playoff team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we thought that coming into the year. We thought they were going to be probably better than the Knicks. Was realistically their projection.
I said that.
You did?
Doesn't look very good right now, but I did say that. I just thought my thing with the Knicks, and I said it after we covered the game Friday, it's just I didn't think they had enough stops in them. And they don't have enough stops in them. They can score with anybody, but they can't stop any NBA team from scoring.
No, and I think they'll be in the playoffs, obviously, but I think the wheels are going to fall off. I mean, everybody says it, 40 minutes. Why are these guys playing so much? But that's going to catch up with these guys. It's going to.
Yeah, Tibbs is not shied away from that being his reputation. He's kind of like, yeah, whatever, that's what it is. But yeah, so I do like. I mean, I really like this Orlando team. It sucks that they had the year they did because I thought they were fully capable of having a really, really good year. Hey, we did not talk about this. Well, I should say you and Kev did not talk about this on Sunday. It should be important to note that now those 57 games of the year, now 58 games of the year, only one NBA team has clinched a spot in the postseason. Your Cleveland Cavaliers.
Absolutely.
Still holding that 6-game lead on the Celtics for over the East. Right now in the league itself, have a 1.5 game lead on OKC for the best record. That doesn't really mean a whole much unless it gets to the finals, where if Cleveland does in the finals, they will have home court advantage throughout. If the things stay the way they are for these last 24 games. Thank you, Skylar. My math is really slow moving today. But yeah, man. So print the shirts. We already know. We got plenty of time. Cavs are going to the playoffs.
I mean, as long as the wheels don't fall off, we should be above the play-in. So,
dude, it would take. All right. So you said above the play-in. They have 19 more wins than the first team in the play-in right now. It would take it would take those teams going on the 19
20 more wins.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, because Atlanta's got 29. God, the play-ins for the East is terrible. It's so bad.
Hey, I mean, we get to face one of these guys in the first round.
That's right. Yeah. So they'll get the last team to make the playoffs there. So
yeah.
God, watch the Bulls do some stupid thing and they make the playoffs. It's smacked. Yeah, for sure. We are talking with before next week for the Bulls game. We are talking with Jason and Pat from Cash Consideration. So I'm really laughing at their thought process of this Bulls season so far. But yeah, man. So now that's out of the way, obviously, they're going to win the Central. It's not even close. The lead they have on the division, which doesn't mean anything anyway. They're 15 games up on the Bucks, and the Bucks currently have a 4-game win streak. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. And then, of course, 6 games on Boston, which did they close out the Toronto game yet? Is that game over with?
Yeah, that game's over with. Toronto did
they won by 10. Yeah, they won by 10, which takes us to Friday.
Before we get into Friday, the Cavs also hit if you bet over on their season win total.
Oh, you're right.
At the beginning of the year, they have since hit that now.
Yes, you're right.
It was
I forgot about that. 47.5.
Yeah, 47.5. So now people can cash out that money.
Yeah, which we told you guys before our season preview. That's going to be the easiest win of the year. I'm actually doing Zach's show, Ethos Cavs, tomorrow. I'm recording with him.
Nice.
We're going to go through the awards and see what all the Cavs are up for, and kind of have that discussion. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Zach, who's been on our show, who is not me, but sometimes when I see his graphic, I think is me. Especially, I'm not wearing a hat tonight, so there's the rarity of that. But dude, so we got 3 nights off before we make the trip to old TD Garden. We're on ESPN in Boston playing the Celtics, who now have basically become the Cavs' true rival. I think you could say that's fair. And the Cavs are on this excellent win streak right now. They've won 12 of their last 13. That won the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Celtics have a 2-1 lead on the season. But what the Cavs' weakness was that Boston has exposed in the first 3 games this year, Cleveland obviously went to take advantage of. We didn't even talk about Javonte Green made his Cavs debut tonight. And did all right. I mean, didn't have to do a whole
Garbage
lot.
Time.
Yeah. But also a former Celtic. So there's that as well. So now I'm genuinely excited to see what does Cleveland look like now that they're healthy. I mean, everyone's back to play the Celtics team. I think Boston has everyone back now as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So what's this game going to look like there? It's like that both teams are going to have their full lineups. And also the thing that Boston's been able to do this 3 games against Cleveland went and got some reinforcements to kind of take advantage of. So really excited to see how the new look roster, the new look Cavaliers of really good athletes guarding these guys instead of having situations where guys like George are guarding Jason Tatum. No offense to George, but don't have to have that anymore. You can have DeAndre Hunter on him. You can bring Javonte Green in to guard these guys. I'm really excited to see how Kenny and staff use the new weapons against Boston in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. And I love that ESPN put the A-list team on there. Mike Breen, Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson are calling the game. It's gonna be a dogfight, man. In the best way possible.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the matchup predictor on ESPN, which means almost nothing, pretty much nothing. But they have the Cavs as a favorite, 55-45.
Man, I am really
in
curious.
TD Garden.
Yeah, I am really curious what the spread's going to look like.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, they're not going to have it yet.
Yeah, you won't have it till Thursday night. But
yeah,
if I had to guess, I would say Boston -1.5. I think it's going to be kind of one of those games, just because they're the home team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Friday night in their place. But wouldn't shock me if Cleveland was favored either. I just don't think they will be. It's going to be really physical. This is kind of, I mean, it's the fourth game. So it's the last time you see it until the postseason.
Yep.
It's the thing we all feel it's going to be the conference finals. So it's Cleveland's last chance to kind of, make a statement against them. I think they're going to be ready to play. Obviously, they're going to be gung ho out there and they're going to be fired up. It's going to be a really fun game.
All right. So, I mean, this is fucking optimist hat on. Homer, big Cavs fan. How much does the national storyline change if Cleveland just comes out and punches Boston in the mouth, wins by 30 plus?
It certainly will in some places, but there's some people who just look at the pedigree of the Celtics and they just pencil it in. I disagree with that notion. For what it's worth.
I disagree with it too.
But yeah, I mean, if they go out there and they win double digits, 16 points, Mitchell has 29 points and 7 assists or something like that, then yeah, you have to kind of really kind of think that the narrative has to change a little bit more there. The conversation at this point now is just the Celtics have done it, right? And that's the only reason why people are putting them above the Cavaliers. Well, the Cavaliers haven't had a chance to do it yet. And so this is kind of one of their first step to that. So I think genuinely that would change the narrative in majority of places, but I think there's going to be a lot of people just going to look at the Celtics and be like, yeah, it's just a regular season game. But I don't think Cleveland's going to treat it like that.
Cleveland's treating it like the playoffs. I mean, that's how they treated the Memphis game. Kenny said, like, this is the playoffs. Like we're fighting in right now, and they played hard and they had a convincing win. I think that's what I want out of this game. I want a convincing win where, like, I want to feel like how I felt after the Knicks game. Obviously, I'm not going to feel that way because there's the absolute dominating blowout, and I don't expect that. But it's just in the way of, like, Boston threw everything that they could against the wall, all the game planning, all tried to out coach them, tried to out hustle them, tried to out pace them, but the Cavs kept doing it better and better in everything that they tried. That's what I want, because that's a oh no, we're in trouble type of loss to Boston.
Now, here's what I'm nervous about, and this has nothing to do with the game, realistically. Let's say this does happen. Let's say the Cavs go out there and they win by like 18. We're in Cleveland on Sunday. There's no way Donovan Mitchell's playing Sunday against Portland if they go and win that game big. That's going to be a rest day for him.
Yeah. I mean, he just has to play. Like, I don't know what's the limit for season awards. Like, just has to play,
he's
right?
way under. He's way under. He'll still qualify.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to take him probably about 10 more games.
Oh, yeah. We'll be good there.
Yeah. I imagine they'll probably start playing less minutes once like this regular season winds down because they already know their status. But yeah, as far as like we're not gonna see a lot of what we're seeing right now. But yeah, I just had this bad feeling that Donovan Mitchell goes into the Garden, goes crazy, quiets the whole place. He will not play Sunday when we are in the Rocket.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be all right with that though.
We'll still have fun. Yeah, we'll still have a good
Yeah,
time.
we'll have plenty of fun. I mean, I like the bench guys too, man. Ty Drone's still gonna play.
That's right. DeAndre Hunter's still going to play.
Exactly. So I mean, I think it'll be fine as long as they get the win on Boston. That's really all that matters.
Yeah, if they have a win on Boston, our show Sunday is going to be a blast. Even more of a blast than it already was going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of, want to make sure we do shout that out. So if you don't know already, we will be Sunday at noon. We will be at Southern Tier, just mere probably 150 feet from the Rocket Arena.
Yeah, it's like a block.
Yeah, so we're going to be there from 12 to 2. We're going to do a show. We're going to also be hanging out. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have giveaways. We're going all out for this for our first one. So we might have some nice big guests in. I've talked to a couple guys that have said that they are going to do their best to make it out. So I am really, really stoked to hang out with you all. Sydney's driving out from Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. It's going to be fun, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I mean, just getting to talk to everybody and meet everybody and just, like I said, live Q&A, door of prizes, special guests. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one. Come out, get a beer, talk Cavs. It's a free event, so just come support Southern Tier. You know?
Get their chicken wings. They're very good.
Yeah, you've said that their chicken wings are super good. I will be I eat chicken wings probably twice a week.
Same, dude. Same. So, and this is not us trying to get. Actually, if someone does want to give us a chicken wing endorsement deal, Tim and Skylar are your guys. So
I'll talk real nice about your wings.
Yeah, chicken wings and bourbon. If there's like a bourbon company out there that's up and coming and wants to sponsor a podcast, holla at your boys. We'll take good care of you. So
absolutely.
Hey, one thing I forgot to mention, I want to make sure I touched on before we got all topic talking about the awards. If you want to see a little bit more of how impressive this win's been for Cleveland tonight, before we close out, Orlando was second in the NBA in the month of February defensive rating going into tonight.
Woof.
Yeah, Cleveland was fourth for what it's worth. That's I'm excited to see when that updates tomorrow on NBA.com to see what that looks like then. But that's it. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We will be back on Friday, getting you recapping the Celtics game. And obviously, you know where we'll be on Sunday in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, with all you lovely people. Come hang out with us, like we said. It's going to be a lot of fun. The three of us, literally for the first time ever, will all be in the same building. Really funny how that worked out. So I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to see everyone. But as always, if you're just checking us out for the first time, whether it's on your podcast app of choice or on YouTube, take a second to give a nice solid subscription. If you're watching this video in particular, like this video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube as well. And of course, reviews, subscriptions, nice big contest about that on Sunday if you're coming to the show. So keep an eye out for that. But on behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, this is Tim Daniel saying good night, and we'll see you Friday night.
Go Cavs.